Hi, this is Asin. You are now watching Asin SL TV. Today, I would like to share how to create restriction by using data validation in Excel. There are a few options available in data validation. Let's move on to Data tab. Look for the Data tools. Choose the Data options for data validation. Click on this drop down and we have data validation. We can try to allow the users to input only whole number or integer. We can give a specific range, for example, negative 999 to positive 999. Before we click on OK, we can choose to whether to leave an input message or not, which means that when the user select the cell, this message will be prompted out. So we can give a title if we want. For example, we want to have whole number or integer as the title. And the message, for example, the range from negative 199 to positive 999. We could also leave an error alert, which means that after invalidated is entered, this message will prompt up. We can also choose to decide which cell to be shown, either stop, warning, or information. Choose the one that we prefer. For example, if let's say we prefer warning, then we choose warning. Or we could choose to whether give a title or not, since this is optional. The most important one is error message, so that the user know what they should do. Click on OK, and we should have set the restriction as we can see here. When we select the cell, the message is here. When the cell is not selected, no message. So how if let's say we give an valid input? So nothing happened. If let's say we give an invalid input, as we can see, we will obtain the error message again. Next, let's try for the second restriction, decimal. Also go to the same place. This time we allow only for decimal. Also give a specific range. We can give exactly the same range as before. The difference between decimal and whole number is decimal allow integer, but whole number doesn't allow decimal, as we can see here. If we put decimal, invalid input occur. Next, let's try to make a restriction by using a list. Also go to the same place. This time we should take list. There are two methods of making a list. Either we type ourselves, for example, like date. We use the comma to split in between the options that we want. For example, date, consider one option. Time, consider the other option. Always use comma to split in between the options. Click on OK, and we should have a drop down here. Or we can make use of their available list on any worksheet. So click on their arrow and we select the range that we want. Input and click on OK. We should obtain exactly the same output as well, as we can see here. Next, we could also set restrictions by using date. Go to the same place and this time we choose date. Also give a range. For example, we want only this year. Supposed to be 1st of January 2022 to 31st of December 2022 and click on OK. So when we enter the date that is not belongs to this year, for example, 1st of February 2021, when we press enter, this will be invalid. If let's say we press any integer, for example, also not allowed. A similar thing also can be done by using the time option. Let's try. So we choose time for this time and we should start, for example, we allow only 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Click on OK. So let's say we choose a time that is before 10 a.m. For example, 9 a.m. What happened? This is not allowed. So let's say we want to have 10 a.m. and 10 minutes. See whether allowed or not. Yes, this is allowed because it's within the range. Besides, we could also restrict the user from giving a very long text or the text that is too short. For example, like giving a password. We can go to the same place and allow text length. We can choose, like, for example, a standard password 6 to 12 characters and click on OK. So let's say the user gives a very long text, this will definitely not allowed. Let's say too short, also not allowed. We accept only 6 to 12 line. Now lastly, we have pre-enter contain before the validation is set. So what we have to do here, we just have to select the cells that we want to validate. And we go to validation. If let's say we want to check for the text length, and this time we want to check for a maximum value. So we should have less than or equal to. So maximum we want to have only 12 characters, and we click on OK. Then next what we have to do here is go to this drop down and we circle invalidated. So we found two data that are invalid. So what we have to do, we can like delete and delete, but then the circle still there. So what to do, go to this drop down and we clear the validation codes, as you can see here. And if we want to clear the data validation, select the cells, go to data validation, click on clear all and click on OK. Then we should have no more validation, as you can see here. Last but not least, we could also customize the restriction by using data validation. For example, we want the user to enter only capital letter. This can be done by using a formula. All we have to do here is go to the allow and we change to custom. And under the formula, we are going to use the find formula. Find formula is case sensitive. All we have to do here is we should check the cell. This is B8. So we want to find word in B8, the cell B8, and we compare with the uppercase. We type uppercase of the cell B8. So when we compare and check exactly the same, then we will have the result equal to 1, starting from the first character which match the text. So if let's say it's equal to 1, which means that definitely is uppercase, otherwise will be not equal to 1. So we click on OK. So when we enter anything, for example, enter N. When we press enter, this will be wrong since this is not capital letter. Let's say we change to capital letter ANT and press enter. As we can see, this is correct. Now let's say we want to have exactly the same validation for other cells. All we have to do here is first press Ctrl C to copy the cell and select the cells that we want. Press Ctrl Alternate V and we look for validation and click on OK. And we should have exactly the same validation. Let's try. So let's say we like give a small letter, this will be definitely wrong. But if let's say we input capital letter, this will be definitely correct and no error at all, as we can see here. For more restrictions on case entry, kindly click on the link at the description below. Okay, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you like this. See you.